Well, isn't that the way of things? It turns out that I got a call right there at the end of the other video. So, um, being as how these last two kits are very special and specific in their construct, I feel a little more exposition would be a little better to kind of appreciate what's actually in these things. So, um, this side of the kit is where I keep all of my custom picks that were made for me by my good friends. So, this pick is a short medium hook that was made by Jimmy Longs, a good buddy of mine, and I love these that he makes, but I just can't seem to get more than one pick out of him. I think because he wants to be the only one with these cool picks. I don't blame him. Very cool picks. I love this. I actually used this in my competition versus Lockpicking Lawyer. This was one of the 3 picks that I used to single pin pick. So I got 3rd in the lockpicking competition at Lockfest 2019, which I had never competed in a lockpicking competition before. So that turned out far better than I expected. All of these are a matching set. These are a family, if you will, never to be split up. So Ultimate Loather on Twitter, my good buddy, made me these a while ago. I was having some very bad hand pain when picking, and I still had to pick. I'm a locksmith, so I commissioned him to make me these picks, and I love them. They are a treasure, so they hang out here. So when I'm doing just light picking, and then, here's my turning tool gathering. So if I'm doing picking at like my tool meetings, this is the kit that I usually bring. I'll pick with these guys, and that's basically the long and short of this. And then in the back, I've got a special thread cap removal tool for servicing locks. So if we're doing some rekeying or we're making challenge locks or something, this really speeds up the process for removing the thread cap on the back. These are really overpriced for what they actually are. They're kind of precise, I suppose, but definitely worth it, especially when you're servicing locks constantly. Definitely worth it to have, and I always try to carry one in this kit. I used to have them all over the place, but a lot of people just ended up wanting to buy them. So I've got all the Sparrows kind of like custom design picks, the Wizard, the Warlock, the Medusa, Dark Castle or whatever. I've got a couple Petersons back here. Right-hand picks are my commercial pick offering of choice. I carry most of the profiles, and they're the ones that I usually try to sell. So they have good handles, and they have a really good feedback, which was really surprising to me because I kind of just avoided these picks for many years. And once I started picking with them, I was really just impressed with how robust they tend to be, even when they taper very sharply, but they pick very well, and they stand up. People that I've sold and or given some to that are far better at picking than me will swear by them. Serial Geist on Twitter, he's picked Medico cam locks with the little DeForest Diamond variation of these, and he really just knocks them out of the park. So these are pinning tweezers, so when you're loading up top pins, you can kind of see the narrow profile here. So this will grab around a pin, and it'll help you load up a top chamber. So so like picks, service, and then just like picks for these are a home for those with no other home. And this is the quick set pickle fork. So when you are disassembling a quick set knob, there's a little detent area that you have to load out of the way to get the spindle out. So that's what this is for. You thumb it in there, pull the spindle out, and once you have the spindle out, you take this, shove it down the hole that you just cleared up by taking the spindle out, and then the cylinder falls out the front. And then this also works to remove the circlip on the back, so you can start taking the lock apart. So indispensable for surfacing quick set, and it's got its home right in this kit. This is an HPC stackable, collapsible follower kit. Excuse me, adjust the camera here. So inside of here, there is 3 followers. They're all nested together. I have a lot of stuff in here, so I'm not going to take everything out. So this is for servicing Schlags, pretty much. That's what I have designed this kit to do. So there's actual cylinder shims in here, nested in between the outer inner layers, and then there's springs, thread cap pins. Gosh, that was off camera, sorry. And there's the different diameters, so you can service American padlocks. Master's a little difficult if they have the index mark, which I explained in another video. And I will probably continue to explain cylinders and their small differences and characteristics in further videos. I've got my right hand short profile pick. The red handles are my favorites. They've got really nice, precise picks. They're really good for single pin picking. This is one of my mentor's old right hand picks. You can see it is a much darker blue because it has had years to oxidize and just sit in a pick kit. So I use this for zip breaking, and I also use it for removing plugs from file cabinets that have retaining wafers, because this is good for reaching back, hitting that wafer, and pulling the actual plug out. So good for that. I've got a backup impressioning file. Impressioning is my one great love of locksmithing. If I were to give myself credit for being good at any aspect of actual locksmithing, it would be impressioning. So this is just a little backup file. I keep this one in case I just need to whittle out a Y11 or something. It's not very good for prolonged impressioning with no firm handle, and you've only got about this much working space if you keep a good grip on it. Good jabbing. Jab people. Keep away from your locks. So you can do that too. Moving along. This is a Keydex demastering follower. This is probably the best commercial offering follower, bar none, because this will allow you can modify it to follow out the newer Schlage modular products that have a really deep indent. So they've got a notch that this won't quite fit into. And you need to modify it a little bit for that. So there's space in here, so this will catch all of your pins. So if you follow it through and then drop it all out, it will catch everything and give you a nice place to dump everything. But this ramp is the real defining mark. This, if run along, so you've got your top pins here when you're following that. So if you run everything further and they hit this ramp, master pins will fall out. So you can remove all of the master pins without dumping all of the top pins. Huge time saver when you have to service cylinders, but you don't want to have to do the top pins every single time. A lot of people like to ask, what is this all about? This channel. That channel is actually for being able to rekey Almont padlocks. There's a little wire tool that keep everything up here. So all of the top pins and stuff right on that wire. And this actually lets you stick the whole follower in there and take that wire tool out, and you actually have an actual follower. So I haven't used it for that purpose in probably a couple of years, but it really did pan out. And then this is for mortise and rim cylinders and stuff that have a protrusion on the back that you can't quite get around. This notch in here will also allow you to go over tail pieces that are not separable from plugs. So a good piece of kit right here. Definitely worth the cost of admission, so to speak. Solid piece there. And then I've got Circlip removal tool / spanner. This is just another surface assembly tool. These are all broken key extractors. This is an offering by HPC. These are basically glorified pin vices that accept a piece of threaded material. So I don't know if this one actually has any in it. Excuse me a second. Yeah, so it does. So everything in here, so these are threaded pieces of wire. So the idea is that you take 2 of these, I've got 3 or 4 or any of their close cousins, you run them down the pipe of the keyway if the key is broken in a lock. You then braid them and twist them around each other to kind of crimp everything from the side, and then you suck the key out. You might have to do some fiddling with a pick or something to be able to get wafers or pins out of the way, but that's the general process. So moving along, I've got Weiser shims right here. These were for removing the inner knob cylinder of Weiser knobs on like old mobile homes and things of that nature. It's kind of their main purpose. But you can also use them for decoding, like, what are those? Like briefcases, the roller wheels and stuff. These work as decoder shims. This is a plug spinner. This is a Rytan. They're a cheapy one. Fires really hard, so I always keep this guy with me because when I'm picking, and if I get picked the wrong way, I like to have a plug spinner. This is real light, kind of a throwaway. And then if people want to buy one off me because I hit my distributor more often, they can typically afford the $20 or whatever this costs. And then a backup set of pinning tweezers. So that covers this kit. Probably my favorite kit. So I'm going to take this guy, set it to the side, and then I'm going to dive into my next one. So this is my backup work pick kit. So this is an old HPC when they still made their cases in the USA kit. So with a lot of modifications. So inside we have HPC's warded lockpick set. We have Sparrows, auto jigglers, which I have only once used for their actual purpose on cars, and I think it was on my car. I've got a small full round file for some backup emergency impressioning or minor key adjustment to get things kind of working in the field until I can get it to my originator or something. Old Sparrows postal, or not Sparrows, but Southard postal hook for lloyding open Master 175 padlocks. Lots of turning tools. This is my car kit. That's basically what this is specifically for. And with some backup tools in case I only have this kit. So all the turning tools, this is a gate opener, so a lot of the dust shutters on cars, you can put this in there. This notch lets it just kind of ride out of the way. So it just sits out of the way while you get actual tools in there and start working without the dust shutter pushing your picks all over the place, which can be a giant pain. I've got an S&G safe change tool, pinning tweezers, more files, key extractors, just a lot of backup tools. This guy is just saved me so many times. Just as a general practice of always having this in my set, my lockout set more specifically, which is what I'm about to cover next, is my actual lockout set. So as you can see, that was all of my sets. That was part 2. And thanks for watching. I'm going to do my auto lockout set next. So stay tuned for that. Anyway, thanks for watching.